Do you know about the most famous maritime disaster in history? It's none other than the sinking of the RMS Titanic on April 15, 1912. The Titanic was a product of the British shipping company, White Star Line. It was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners built in the early 20th century. Despite being heralded as unsinkable, the Titanic's design came with some safety features but fell short in terms of lifeboats, unable to accommodate all passengers and crew in case of an emergency. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York City, USA. Over 2,200 passengers and crew were on board. The ship made stops in Cherbourg, France and Queenstown, now known as Cove in Ireland, before setting sail across the Atlantic Ocean. Trouble struck on the night of April 14, 1912. While sailing through the North Atlantic, the Titanic collided with an iceberg around 11:40 p.m. ship's time. The iceberg punctured multiple compartments along the starboard side of the ship, causing flooding and a gradual loss of buoyancy. Despite the damage, the ship's crew initially downplayed the situation. However, as evacuation began, the lack of sufficient lifeboats became evident. The ship's design complied with outdated regulations that didn't account for its size, leaving lifeboats for only about half of the passengers and crew. Distress signals were launched and the crew began loading passengers into lifeboats, with priority given to women and children. The RMS Carpathia, the nearest ship, responded and arrived several hours later, rescuing survivors from lifeboats and life rafts. Despite these efforts, more than 1,500 people lost their lives in the disaster, making it one of the deadliest commercial maritime disasters in history. The sinking of the Titanic led to widespread outrage and inquiries into maritime safety regulations. This ultimately led to stricter safety measures and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs in the North Atlantic. The Titanic disaster was a combination of human error, design flaws, and inadequate safety measures. Contributing factors included the ship's high speed in iceberg-infested waters, the lack of binoculars in the crow's nest, and miscommunication about the iceberg's proximity. The inadequate number of lifeboats and life-saving equipment further exacerbated the loss of life. The sinking of the Titanic serves as a tragic reminder of the importance of proper safety protocols, maritime regulations, and disaster preparedness to ensure the safety of passengers and crew aboard ocean vessels.